With Ash Ketchum no longer being the main character of Pokemon after the anime's long 25-year run, I thought I'd give myself 100 days to try to become a legendary Pokemon trainer, literally meaning I can only catch legendary Pokemon, and this all starts on day 1. Now unfortunately for us, legendary starter Pokemon do not exist, so we're going to have to choose a Pokemon to immediately throw into a bin. Now that's done, welcome to the world of Pokemon on the server of Pixelmon To Go. But there was just one problem. I haven't played anything Pokemon related in 13 years. My last genuine Pokemon adventure was in the Nintendo DS game Black and White, when the game still looked like this. And now look at it. So since it's been so long since I played Pokemon, the world around me is completely changed. I was completely clueless. My first step was to open the legendary crate key to see what my real starter Pokemon was going to be. And from this,
I got Deoxys. At level 72, what a good start.
Deoxys is a legendary Psychic-type Pokemon introduced in Generation 3, 2 generations before my time on Black and White, and now my new starter Pokemon, meaning it was time for Charmander to get stuffed into the bin.
There we are, my legendary team is now started.
Anyway, it was time to start my adventure by using the random teleport command, and the area I spawned in really set in the feeling of pure confusion I had in this modern Pokemon world. But to my surprise, my friend actually managed to join the server by following the link I sent him, which you can find in the description, and downloading the launcher. It took him just 2 minutes, and for a guy who took 15 minutes to download Discord, that's pretty impressive. And to my surprise, he had a Zekrom, a legendary dragon / electric type from my generation. So the only thing that's left to do was to battle.
Mine's so small. Yeah, this. Oh, that's damage to be fair. Oh, what is that? Okay. Where have I been? I got sent to the Poké Center. That's how badly I got defeated. I just got destroyed. Even the damn. Must be in cripples now. Being by a cripple, I'm getting made fun of. What's going on? What a horrendous start.
If there was a competition for the best starts in Pokemon, I'd be at the very bottom. This was all because of my so-called friend humiliating me in front of the entire server. So I did what any sane person would, and declared him my rival. I'll make a team of legendaries and even a Reshiram to counter his Zekrom and take him down once and for all. We even both agreed whoever lost had to give their legendary, and I'm not looking to lose. Also, my Deoxys is Pimgey, which is why he's such a dwarf. Anyway, I decided to start exploring my surroundings, which is when I came across this event called a raid. They can range from 1-star to 5-star, and these were incredibly useful in my adventure.
Why is he so big? Wait, so what do I do?
I was a little confused since you're supposed to select your move and then who you want to attack, you know, that being the raid boss. But I just kept attacking the guy next to me. I did have Spirit though.
I lost. I defeated a Blitzel. I don't even know what's going on. This. Oh, it's Quicksand. What is that name? What's up?
I was thinking of living here, so I checked the surrounding area and found an entire gym just randomly placed it.
Just kind of looking at him.
Did I just found some random sword Pokemon?
Just found a floating sword.
I took it out in cold blood. Also, on Pixelmon To Go, you can actually purchase very snazzy cosmetics, like my friend, for example.
I got nothing. I've been scammed.
Don't worry, we'll be getting our own later. Anyway, it was time to take a look around the spawn area. My original plan was to find an EV training tower to level up my Pokemon. But to use the tower, you have to be something called a master trainer, which I evidently was not. There's also a poker shop where I was hoping to buy a Master Ball from, but... So instead of buying from the shop, we'll be mainly selling our findings for the in-game currency, Poké-Dollars. Here's the info area where you can just learn about the server, but even so, I still have no idea what I'm looking at. Like, I don't know what any of this means. Finally, there are daily reward NPCs, which give things such as 1,000 Poké-Dollars and rare candies if you manage to beat them in battle, which would be incredibly useful for us going forward. Now, we have a net worth of $1,000. And we are gonna need around 200,000. Which is where the raids I mentioned earlier come into play. These carried my entire existence. I eventually learned you have to actually attack the raid boss, not your friends. And for completing 3-star or higher raids, you'd sometimes get something called an ability capsule. You'll see why this is so good in just a second. Anyway, I decided it was best I get some bare essentials just in case, which is when I learned that to become a master trainer, you need 90% of the Pokedex completed. and I had a whopping 0.33%. So that was just not gonna happen. My race star luck was pretty fantastic, so I had one thing going for me at least. And my luck with getting these ability capsules was also pretty fantastic. They even dropped the leveling up crystals, so I could try and get my Deoxys to level 100. I did find an event crate key. I basically knew that nothing good would come from this since this is a legendary only. But if I wasn't doing legendary only, this would have been great. Because apparently getting a shiny key is very rare. But then I got a Lunatone and had to throw it in the bin either way, so hey ho, never mind. Also on this server, there's actually a voice chat which is pretty snazzy, which means you can literally hear people talking if you get close to them. I had a few run-ins with this, but I only got this one on record.
I want the Coles cash.
I
need the Coles cash.
3 people and just some parrots staring at you. No, that's a flamingo.
Back to raiding. I got 2 ability capsules from this raid. My luck was genuinely ridiculous, and to add to that, an Ultra Space wormhole spawned right next to me, which according to the possible spawns command, has an Elon Musk's child chance of spawning. I searched it up just now, and 5.0 E minus 4% in numbers is 0.0005%. So without hesitation, I towered up to the portal, hopped in, missed, and then missed my chance. To improve my shattered mood, I'll show you why I've been collecting these ability capsules, and that's because a singular capsule sells for 12,500, meaning just 4 of them sold for 50,000 Poké Dollars, bringing my Poké net worth to a solid 65,000. And then a Latios spawned on me. My luck was so amazing that I didn't realize how incredibly rare this was to happen to me. The worst thing I could possibly do is let this chance go to waste. For some reason, this Pokemon led me on an absolute car chase through the hills of my own home. I managed to catch it eventually though, and when I did, I realized how unprepared I was to catch this thing. It broke out of every one of my semi-decent Pokeballs, and then I accidentally slaughtered it. So back to the drawing board, I was going to need to get my hands on a Master Ball, which is when I learned of the existence of the GTS, also known as the Global Trade Station, where a Master Ball is being sold for 110,000 Poké Dollars, 75,000 cheaper than the local store. So my new plan was to purchase the GTS Master Ball and work towards finding another legendary Pokemon to ensure its capture. The first method I used for money was the hunt system, where you'd get paid for taking out certain Pokemon, but when I took out this Blitzel, I didn't get paid. Apparently you have to catch the Pokemon, not slay them. Since I'm not allowed to catch non-legendaries, the hunt method is impossible. The second method was to battle NPC Pokemon trainers, since these guys would empty their wallets if they lost a Pokemon battle for some reason. But the first trainer just had to have a Dialga, the god of time. I got sent to the Poke Center again and again. So I reverted back to completing raid battles, which immediately earned me an extra 1,500 Poke Dollars. I also took part in my very first trade between another trainer. This consisted of trading a Dragon Scale for 5,000 Poké Dollars, bringing my Poké net worth to 76,000, just 34,000 away from the Master Ball. And finally, after grinding a metric ton of raid battles and battling Pokemon trainers, I was left on just $105,000. With one final raid, I managed to push myself over the $110,000 milestone and could finally purchase one of the greatest Pokeballs you can get your hands on, the Master Ball. And now all I had to do was wait for another legendary spawn and I could catch it guaranteed. But it seemed I had spent my luck. I ended up waiting for literal hours, like I'm deadly serious. I ended up managing to round up 250,000 Poké Dollars, over double the Master Ball grind, and just simply purchasing an unwanted Dialga off the Global Trade Station. Think of it as like, adoption. I see him as my own. So now, our team consists of legendary Deoxys and legendary Dialga, the god of time. With this squad, I decided to re-challenge the NPC trainer who also owned a Dialga, and this time I can assure you, I did not get sent to the Poke Center multiple times. He's pro! Anyway, back to the legendaries. Waiting for a spawn was proving unbelievably close to impossible, but this was around the time I learned about the legendary Kanto buds, consisting of the ice type Articuno, electric type Zapdos, and finally the fire type Moltres. Now of these three, I was most interested in Zapdos. To spawn Zapdos, we were gonna need an orb of static souls, crafted by combining an orb and Thunderstone, and I did not have a Thunderstone. Believe me, they are not easy to find. My first method was to get my hands on a Super Rod, which a player trainer kindly supplied to me, saving me a ton of time. Now all I had to do was find a mountainous biome with a lava pit to fish in, but my first random teleport spawned me exactly on this random shrine, which looked kind of important. Believe it or not, about 2-3 hours have passed and absolutely nothing has happened with the Super Rod method. So that brings us to the second method, the eradication of the Electabuzz Pokemon race. Since these guys dropped Thunderstone shards, which when 9 are combined, creates a full Thunderstone. But they seem to only spawn at night, so the daytime was kinda useless. Eventually, all 9 Thunder Shards were acquired, and I finally made the Thunderstone, and in turn, crafted the Orb of Static Souls. One small problem, I had to brutally knock out 375 Pokemon. This was fun. Now, to actually use the Orb of Static Souls, you'll need to find a Static Shrine. But again, with the help of the friendly Pixelmon To Go trainers, they took me to where I needed to go, which was quite nice. Now, all that was left to do was to right-click the shrine and throw my Master Ball at Zapdos. And now our team consists of Legendary Deoxys, Legendary Dialga, the God of Time, and Legendary Kanto Bird, Zapdos. Zapdos was a solid addition to the squad too, since he can fly, like, pretty fast and stuff. So, that's it, yeah. I'm sure he's great in battles. With half of the Legendary squad complete, I thought it was time I rented out a home, and so I chose the large tower around the area where the Latios spawned all those days ago, and got to work renovating the place. Yeah, beacons need blocks and stuff. I completely forgot about that. Anyway, with the home renovated, it was time to get back to work, with the first goal at hand being to level up every Pokemon in my squad to level 100. A simple task in concept, but a long and tedious one at the very least. Once that was done, I headed to spawn to try and learn how to use the move relearner. But I haven't a clue what a good move is or isn't. So I just tried to get a bunch of different move types that did a lot of damage, and that was kind of basically it. And I repeated this for every single one of my legendaries. And once I had finished, I went and took on the gym near my home with a brand new squad. I want to say that I found it very easy, but that is a complete lie. I had no idea what I was doing, and I even had to max revive one of my Pokemons that I didn't lose. But what really matters is that despite the little hiccups, I still took home the W. And to celebrate the victory, remember my friend's wheelchair? It was time I got my own. Not a wheelchair exactly, but like an outfit. And to do this, we'll be going to the Pixelmon To Go store where they sell these outfits, and one caught my eye immediately. Now that we're dripped out of our mind, I can't lie, I have to keep something secret from you in this chest. These plates are used to spawn another legendary Pokemon. We were going to need to find 2 separate shrines to make this work. But with our new Zapdos, covering ground was easier than ever. And eventually, I found the first shrine where I had to place every plate I owned into this cup. But, I sent a pulley out into the void of Pixelmon, and to my insane luck, a fellow Pokemon trainer came to my aid with some spare plates. And with some trial and error, we finally managed to figure out the missing plates, and the ritual began. And now we are a proud owner of the Azure Flutes, I think it's pronounced. Now remember that shrine we randomly teleported onto a while back? Turns out that's a million times more useful than I could have ever imagined. So without hesitation, Zapdos and I zoomed back to the coordinates of the shrine, and when we got there, the floor began to open, and from the mist rose the Alpha Pokemon, the creator god of the Pokemon world, the creator of the creation trio, God Arceus, who was tiny. With the throw of a Master Ball, the god of all Arceus was now part of the squad. I got some new moves relearned onto him and had another trainer up the sides of him, so he felt a lot more godly. And just like the process of the Zapdos, I began taking part in raids to level up Arceus to 100 before searching for my final legendary Pokemon. Getting Pokemon to level 100 allows you to use these items that raise their IV levels. I'm not entirely sure what this means, but I managed to maximize all of Arceus levels, which I hope is a good thing. Now it was finally time to learn about Reshiram. He apparently spawned in the Mega Tiger Hills biome, and apparently many other trainers have been trying to get their hands on Reshiram for multiple real-life weeks with no luck, so the chances looked unbelievably slim. But my efforts on the server had been noticed by other trainers, and together they all tried to assist me in getting this Reshiram. From humiliated and laughed at, to now standing for literal hours trying to help me. I'd come a long way, but unfortunately the power of friendship wasn't going to be enough for Reshiram, as he refused to spawn. Though as soon as I was about to give up, Reshiram had finally decided to show itself. Our efforts had finally paid off. With my final Master Ball, I managed to catch my final legendary Pokemon, Reshiram, the Yang to my rival Zekrom's Yin. The team looked like this: the god of the Pokemon world Arceus, legendary Kanto Zapdos, legendary Psychic Deoxys, God of Time Dialga, and legendary dragon-type Reshiram. With this new squad, I tried to learn about the gyms, but my small brain couldn't comprehend how they worked, so I ended up just leveling up my Reshiram, giving him new, more brutal and powerful moves, and then IV training all my Pokemon using Volt Caps. I then took on a Grass-type gym as training for my rival finally logged back on. I managed to clear my way through every fodder character leading up to the gym leader with ease, and once I got to the gym leader, the norm did not change, and I swept the floor of the leader, losing just my Reshiram in the process. Which is when finally, my rival and close friend logged on. We chose to battle at the area we first fought, and I had an unfortunate start with the Reshiram, just missing the one tap leading to Zekrom taking out Reshi.
You hit harder, goddamn. Dialga's gonna clean up.
But Dialga managed to finish what Reshiram couldn't. Metagross came out, who seemed like a problem. I wasn't aware that the Perish song from Arceus took out me along with the opponents, so we ended up just both being knocked out, which was very worrying.
Nice little trade, nice little trade. Even though I have less Pokemon, so it's not ideal.
My worries were shattered once my starter legendary Deoxys shook off his rust and stepped on his black Air Forces.
Who even are
He
you?
was not here to play around. Articuno had a healing move which started to worry me a bit.
Oh, you loser.
Deoxys didn't take a liking to my worry and proved me completely wrong.
Yeah!
Tyranitar got sent out, but Dialga had no problem with knocking him out in just
War
2
of
moves.
time. Oh, that hurt.
When Dragonite got sent out, Dialga one-upped himself inside the one tap, and the battle was over.
Yes!
Since I was the victor, I got to trade a Sandcastle for a Zekrom.
Oh! Ah, show the boys off. Look at these. Even lined up all
And
nicely.
now
Look
I
at
had a
that, they
complete
actually-
full squad of legendary Pokemon.